Bengals are back. It's week 9, Prop Nation. This is Sully, and I'm with the man, the legend from down under, John Lloyd Roberts. Okay.
Now, have you noticed, Sully?
Yeah.
You introduced the show very well. I've started introducing the show as Prop Nation, as in I am talking to Prop Nation, like the group, our community is called like our Prop Nation, whereas you are actually, I think you do it correctly where you call it the show is Prop Nation.
Well, I mean, I believe that this is a nation of prop bettors, also AKA bus riders.
Toot, toot.
Shoot, shoot, get on the magic school bus. Yeah.
Yeah, hell yeah.
Yeah. You know what? We missed last week, and I missed it wholeheartedly. But we're up here. We're in my workshop's mezzanine, and we're in John's new studio. So this is how it goes. Your studio looks exactly the same as it did before, so nobody would ever know.
This backdrop is just a privacy screen. I just cart it around because I'm like, well, no one wants to look at my bed.
Really? That's true. Yeah. Yeah, that's very true. Yeah, you know what? I wish I had a wider angle. I wish I had a wider angle camera. I got to get a new camera soon. And then so I could display this miraculous thing that I actually have behind me that nobody can see. Anyway, if you're wondering what this is around my neck, yes, it is a Bengal tiger
oh, it's beautiful.
Blanket.
It's glorious, man.
It is. You know what? And I'm just so excited that the Cincinnati Bengals are back doing their thing.
They're back, man.
Oh my goodness. The first 3 weeks, the amount of text messages that I got day after day just about how the Bengals stink and how I must hate everything. You know what? I'm like,
it was the contract more than anything. The new Burrow contract was like, oh, that's
the memes, man. The memes. They were just my Instagram box was full of friggin' memes about Joe Burrow and how he was crumbling all over the place. Like I wish I deleted them all. I don't like them.
Yeah, that's not good for your mental health, man.
No, that's exactly it. I block and delete. No, I'm just kidding. Those are my friends. I can't block and delete them. I wanted to block and delete them. You know who you are, all of you.
But look at you now.
Oh, now I get to wear this miraculous draping blanket with pride. Okay, so
that's
what do we got? Where are we going to go? I just
like and subscribe. Shout out, like and subscribe.
Like and subscribe. I just want to start off by saying we've had a rough go with some of the parlays recently. The single bets have still been really good. We've been pretty on point. It just seems like we're getting nipped. We're getting nipped by one or two, and a lot of it's the injury bug. I just want to say that this is the week that we turn it around completely, and we don't focus too much on the heavy hitters. At least myself. John's going to go off and do his thing. I know what he's going to do.
Oh yeah, I will.
Yeah, he's going to take the prime time, prime star, prime everything. But you know what? He's pretty good at guessing them. I'm terrible at that. I am just horrendous at it. What I'm good at is following the gut on the little in the cracks mystery. And you know what? I'm going to follow my gut. Boom. Which is big now. A lot of stress. It's getting bigger. And I'm going to follow this big gut to the promised land. So, and I'm going to take you guys on the bus ride with me, and we're going to hit it together this week. So let's do it. Let's get going. John, you kick me off and take us over to the first game that you want to talk about.
Love it, man. Well, you know me, I'm also looking for diamonds in the rough. I don't like to hit too heavy with my guys, but I do have to start off with, have you heard of Patrick Mahomes is the first place that I'm going.
You dangerous man. You dangerous
I'm doing
man.
the Germany game.
Yeah.
We're going to Germany. We're going to Frankfurt.
Okay. Yeah, that's exciting. It's first thing in the morning. I think this one's going to be a rock star game, to be honest with you.
Yeah. Over-under is sitting at about 50.5, I think I saw. And I'm looking at Patrick Mahomes here. I'm looking at his passing attempts. This is a guy who has gone over his passing attempts outside of week 3 and week 4 every single time, and they usually sit around anywhere between 35 and 38. If you're watching on YouTube, you can see his lines right here. They've been down at 35 the last couple of weeks, which he's gone over. Even if they go back up to sort of 36, 37, 38, I'm pretty comfortable with that. I think that this is going to be a big passing game. Isaiah Pacheco has sort of started to take a little bit of a backseat. I'll just bring him up real quick here. He has sort of started to lose in his rushing yards, and they're going to him a bit less. And when they go to Jerick McKinnon, that is typically in the passing game as well. So for me, Patrick Mahomes against the Dolphins team here as well. I'll just bring up the Dolphins defense because one thing you'll notice about them is their money line spreads and over-unders. They typically always go over outside of that Philly game, and quarterbacks do have to pass against them to keep pace with them, keep up with them. They do give it up to the receiver one. Now, whether you believe that's Travis Kelce or Rashee Rice is going to be the tricky thing, but either of them probably should have success. They're good against tight ends, but I don't think that we've really seen them against a stud like Travis Kelce too much. I think it's going to be a level playing field. I'm not too concerned either about the time zone thing. Apparently, because Kansas City is behind Miami by like 1 hour or something like that, some people think that might make an impact. I don't think so.
John.
I'm sitting here looking at the GOAT that is Patrick Mahomes. I understand he's been playing down. He hasn't been playing to his best form, but I think that this is a good spot for him to get it together, get it back after, especially after that loss to Denver. They're going to want to showcase themselves. They're on a stage. It should be a good game. What do you think?
I think it's going to be a great game. And I think the fact that you brought up those two receivers for Kansas City, you said Travis Kelce and Rashee Rice. And if you want to argue on who's number one, you can have like a justified argue in both of those, I guess, right? The fact that there is a WR1 sitting there at 44 and a half.
Is that Rashee Rice? Beautiful.
Yes, it's Rice. He's at 44 and a half. And I think he's at 3.5 receptions. So I know you want to talk about Patrick Mahomes, but if I'm taking any single bet, actually, this is the parlay that I'm taking for this game. It's a 2-pick parlay. And that's it. It's Rashee Rice over 3.5 receptions and Rashee Rice over 44.5 receiving yards.
It's a great call. He's done it every single week outside of 4 and 5 for receiving, but also he started to become the guy. He started to make his claim. Kadarius Toney is not it. Sky Moore is garbage. MVS is just used strictly on deep bombs, if you like that as well. It's either Kelce or it is Rice. There's sort of really no in between with those two.
Yeah. I think I would take that. I would take those two in a parlay just for a quick little early morning zinger. Get the bankroll up for Sunday at 1. Let's go.
Yeah, I unfortunately won't be able to watch this game because it's on about 1:30 in the morning for me. But
come on, you shouldn't even be in bed by that time.
I'm looking forward. I'm looking forward to the. I get to wake up at 5 a.m. now. 5 a.m. Thank God for that.
Yep.
Australia. All right, so that's it. Lock it in for me. Patrick Mahomes over. Let's call it 37.5 an hour, or if it's 36, that'd be nice. 37.5 passing attempts for me. Thank you.
Cool. What else do you like in that game?
So a couple of other angles. I was also looking at Tyreek Hill. Over receiving is kind of a no-brainer. I think the Chiefs defense is fairly good though. But then I'm not looking at any of, if I was to look at Dolphins running backs, I had a note here on Raheem Mostert under receiving yards because the Chiefs have been very good against pass catching options. And the other one I've got, for 2 stars, I've got Tua over 1.5 passing touchdowns. I really like that as well.
Okay. Yeah, that's a good one.
Tua is basically...
1.5? Was it 2.5 or is it 1.5?
I've got it set at 1.5, which he's basically hit that every single
game. Yeah, I feel
pretty week. Yeah. He's either had one or more. So, yeah, he is a pretty safe bet for 1.5, especially against the Chiefs in a high over-under shootout.
That's what you assume, right? That's what you assume. That's what the books assume.
Yeah.
Assume it.
I'm going to put that one in there as well on my card, Tua over 1.5 passing. If it gets up to 2.5, what do you think about 2.5 passing touchdowns? Over?
No.
He does throw it to the running back, and that's how they score touchdowns as well. They don't have many rushing touchdowns on the season, as good as their running backs are.
Achan's still out, yeah?
Yeah, still out. It's Wilson and Mostert.
Jeff.
My boy Jeffrey.
No, 1.5.
Okay. 1.5 it is.
Yep.
All right. What's the next game you want to look at?
Oh. You know what? Let's go over to Chicago, or it's in New Orleans. Let's go to the New Orleans and Chicago game.
Right on.
Yes. And I think there's two things that I like there, and it could be dealer's choice on which one you want to take. But I really like Alvin Kamara in that game,
Yeah.
and I think you do too.
He's on my he's on my card, yeah.
Yeah, he's on your card. I did know that, but I'm looking at the longest rush of 14.5.
Oh, beautiful.
And I would take Alvin Kamara over 14.5 on the longest rush. Yep, and the other one that I like, it's been happening all damn year, all year. It's the over the longest reception. I'm just trying to find the number right now just to make sure it hasn't moved.
Yeah, just before you move on to Alvin Kamara, I'll just bring him up real quick while you're looking for that.
Yes, please validate my my choice.
The Bears, I 100% fully endorse Alvin Kamara in this spot. Like I was saying to you before the show when I was sending you my notes, I do have Alvin Kamara for 3 stars here, mainly not for so much the rushing, but the receiving side. The Bears, outside of Josh Jacobs, who should have hit that prop. There was no reason for him not to. They've basically completely given it up to pass catching running back options. And I just want to scroll quickly to Alvin Kamara as well, who since coming back from suspension has absolutely lit up the league. He's hit over every single one of his props in every single category outside of these 2 here in week 5. He has been a stud. Even as they increase, it doesn't even really matter for him. He is a complete stud. The Bears, they'll be at home.
Then the 14.5 was the longest reception. Sorry. That was, I don't know if I think I might have said longest rush by accident.
Yeah, I can't remember.
I didn't mean that. I meant reception. So, sorry, the longest reception is at 14.5. Alvin Kamara, longest reception, 14.5 over.
Beautiful. Yeah, and so like I was saying, the Bears will be on the road. They'll have Tyson Badgett. I think they'll be playing from behind a lot here. Derek Carr has targeted Alvin Kamara at an insane rate. He has something like, it was like 14 targets, 15 targets. In one game, he had like 14 receptions. It's been nuts. Derek Carr's is just like, okay, I'm not going to go to Alvin Kamara. And then he's like, oh, that's Kamara. And then quickly just throws it up to him as quick as possible.
There's a second longest reception that I like in that game. I don't have the number in front of me. It's not there, but it's Rashid Shaheed.
Yes, who's playing lights out at the moment.
If that number comes in at 18.5 or 19.5, which I think it's going to, if it goes over 20, don't bother. Just stick with the Alvin Kamara. But if Rashid Shaheed is anywhere under 20 for the longest reception, you're taking it.
And it's like you can take the longest reception or you could take his receiving yards. Basically, it is like, will Derek Carr throw it long to Rashid Shaheed?
And he will.
Because
He'll try it twice.
Yeah, you can get fairly decent value on his receiving yards. It usually sits at around 35.5.
It's at 28.5.
28.5, beautiful. So so you're like, I really like it.
So they're going to have him likely listed for the receptions. If the receptions are, this is what's going to validate this. The receptions are, they don't even have them listed right now. Poop. Yeah. Okay. Well, I'm assuming that they're assuming that he's going to catch the ball twice, and they've got it at 20 something and a half. 20. What did I just say? 28.5. I honestly think one of those is going 20 yards. It's going 20 yards. Let's do it.
And just quickly, while we're thinking, so we're not thinking Chris Olave in this spot. And Derek Carr have not really been on the same page, but also, I'm trying to think the Bears corner we were talking about last week. Is it Jalen Johnson? I think his name is. PFF has him graded as the number 2 cornerback overall on the season. He's just behind Devin Witherspoon, number 1, actually. Quick shout out to Mr. Hawk.
It's crazy that Witherspoon has been playing the way that he has. Isn't he Australian?
Devin Witherspoon.
Where is he from?
I don't know. He's not Australian.
Are you
is
sure? Are
Yeah.
you sure?
Why would he be Australian?
I don't know. For some reason, there's something inside me. I could be completely wrong. And you know what? To be honest with you, maybe I am. Maybe I am wrong.
No, I think you're just thinking because like he plays in Seattle and I go for Seattle. You probably.
I mean, it's a possibility. Where is he born? Nope, he's Florida.
Yeah, but what I wanted to say was
he's a Florida man.
Oh, maybe he's from Melbourne, Florida. There's a Melbourne in Florida.
Definitely not. He's from. Nope. Pensacola.
All right. We'll add that to the highlight reel at the end of the season when I put together.
Yeah. Is he Australian? No, he's not Australian. He's the most Floridian you could possibly imagine. Yeah.
I feel like I would have heard by now if he was.
Yeah. You guys celebrate Aussies. Absolutely. Like even if
we celebrate them big time over here.
Fourth team kicker.
Yeah, man. Punters in Australia, it's a beautiful thing. But you might remember we were talking about Bears Chargers the other night, and I said Keenan Allen under receiving, and that was correct. 85 he got to. Devontae Adams was shut down. Justin Jefferson didn't play. I think it was actually Jordan Addison who I put in here for this one. Yep. Terry McLaurin didn't make it. Jerry Jeudy didn't make it. Basically, he's been shutting down everyone. So Chris Olave, stay away. Or if you're real frisky, bet the under. But these receiver two options
and the running back.
Yeah, and the running back we've been able to attack. Just want to share that really quickly as well.
Hey, look.
Alvin Kamara, great choice. Rashid Shaheed, great choice.
Yes, sir. Okay, when it's your turn, pick a game.
So I'm going to need to now jump to my other 3-star pick. I've got to stop going back to Ken Walker, even though I do like him here against the Ravens. I'm going to go to Rachaad White. Okay. I'm looking at his receptions over as well. Definitely not rushing because he hasn't been utilized too much in the rushing game. But they're going to Houston, so it'll be in a dome. They're playing against CJ Stroud and company. But the Houston defense has, as good as they've been playing, they actually haven't been playing too well against running back pass catching options. I'm just trying to find his line. Sorry, I'm a bit all over the place here. That's okay. You know what? They're not even up.
The receptions.
Oh, yes, they are.
No, his receiving yards are.
Yeah, so 27.5. That is a nice number for him. I'm just going to plug in where he has.
This is warm, man. This is really warm.
Yeah, feel free to take it off if you're getting sweaty. Okay, so this will be his most yet. His previous weeks, he'd been sitting at 22.5 receptions, which he did hit over. Week 6, he went under, but he just had, in general, a really, really bad game. It was 15.5. And then before then. So he has hit over his receptions 5 of the last 6 weeks. He's also in a really good spot here. I'll just bring the Houston defense up on screen as well. So we can see they've mostly been in not so much shootouts because the over-unders have been going under for the most part, but running backs have had a lot of success against this Houston Texans defense. I think they're still trying to piece it together. The receiver one option, so Mike Evans could be in for a good game here as well. Baker, if you can get him at a good number for passing as well, you could look at, but it is mainly this receiving options here for Rachaad White, who, like I was just saying, has hit it 5 of the last 6 weeks. He gets targeted a lot from Baker. He should sit around 3 catches. I imagine he's averaging per game as well. So it's a good spot. I don't like the rushing, but I probably wouldn't take the scrimmage as well. So lock that one in for me. Rachaad White over 27.5 receiving yards.
Okay. Rock and roll. Okay. I've got 2 more picks.
Very nice.
And one of them is going to the Monday night game.
Oh, I've got a few Monday night options as well here.
Yeah, so let's talk.
I was almost thinking, I've got enough options here. I could almost do a Monday night preview show. Let's go.
You may as well. I'm only going to pick one out of that game.
Yeah, I've got a 3-star pick.
And it's Breece Hall. Like I would throw
Breece Hall.
This one. I would throw the farm at this one. Brees
It is
Hall over
Brees.
16 and a half receiving yards.
Yeah,
What?
that is exactly what I've got. And I didn't even tell you before the show about that one.
How is this a line right now? It's a trap. We're gonna lose. We're gonna go 0 for our picks
Yeah.
this week because they're all a trap. This is insane, man.
Yeah.
This is insane. Brees Hall over 16 and a half receiving yards. Like, this is taking candy from a baby. Which, you know what? I have an almost 2-year-old, and it's very difficult to take it, but this is it. It's
Mainly because of the crying that happens for the next 2 hours
exactly. But yeah, 16 and a half receiving yards. Come on. Give me a break. Give me that pick over 16 and a half. If you want to bet that up and you want to go hit a home run and put it up to 25, by all means, go put it up to 25 because I might do that. I might do one at 16 and a half and then take a second one at 25. That's how confident I am.
2 things I want to share with you here while we're looking at my spreadsheet again. The LA Chargers defense, basically every running back, whether they're a pass catcher or not, has managed to have success against them through the air. I know you're looking at Miami and Tennessee didn't, but they still got their reception totals. So I was also looking at Brees Hall receptions. If it's a 2.5, I would bet that up. I think he will go over that, but also the receiving options could be good as well. Even like Tony Pollard, who has not been playing well, he still got over. Isaiah Pacheco got over. Even like last week with who was the Bears trotting out last week? Was it Roshan Johnson or Deontay Foreman?
It was both.
Either way, they both had success through the air against them. It is an area you can attack. You can also attack the tight end here. It just depends on who you believe is the Jets' number 1 tight end, if it's Tyler Conklin or CJ Uzama. And what about Zach Wilson over passing?
Yeah, 100%.
He's starting to get it together.
Yep, he is.
I'm not afraid.
It's the perfect spot. It's the perfect spot for him to do it, too.
They're at home, aren't they? Isn't this in New York?
Yeah, they are. I honestly think the Jets win this game.
I also think the Jets win this game. As crazy as that is to say, because they almost lost to the shithouse New York Giants.
There's something brewing there. There's something brewing in New York, and I think the team's rallying behind. They know Aaron's coming back, and this is like, I think it's almost less stress for Zach Wilson knowing that he's coming back, and this feels like a great spot for Zach Wilson. It feels like a great spot for Zach Wilson.
I think so. The Chargers defense is garbage. Yeah,
I'll probably do a specific Monday night ticket as well. We could put it. We'll put it on Instagram for everybody to follow as well. If you're not following, please follow on Instagram. It's Prop Nation BS's Prop Nation betting show, and like and subscribe to YouTube while you're at it, while you're watching this. Anyway. Okay, I got one last one.
Just before you move on, I just wanted to quickly touch on Brees Hall as well. Since week 4, if you're watching on YouTube, you can see he's hit over his receiving yards and he's had 3 or more receptions every single week. He's also, and because of that, he's been able to go over his scrimmage yards as well. I think this is just a fantastic spot for Brees Hall. I think he's going to have a huge game.
He's an animal.
Yeah.
He's an animal. You know what? Speaking of another animal that nobody's really everybody's forgot about, and they're going to really remember the name after this week. It's Jonathan Taylor. And it's Jonathan Taylor against the Carolina Panthers. His total is 64 for his rushing yards. He's going to crush it. He's going to go over 80. So I think this is, once again, I did this with Brees Hall a few weeks ago. You get it before it goes up, even though they didn't go up on Brees Hall. Why not? Who knows? But Jonathan Taylor this week, he's going for 80. This is Jonathan Taylor's week for rushing. I don't know what the attempts are at, but you know what? I don't really care. Let me just focus on the rushing total. He's at 64.5. Take the over. If you want to move it to 75 and take the over, do it. He's going to hit it.
Yeah, so the Carolina Panthers have had a seriously good defense against quarterbacks and receiving options, especially tight ends. However, against running backs, they have been shocking. They've been one of the worst teams. So Damian Pierce last week struggled. He's been the only running back to struggle, though. Like Raheem Mostert destroyed them. David Montgomery destroyed them. Even Alexander Madison destroyed them. Kenneth Walker as well. So, like, all these running backs, I mean, they've faced some really, really good ones, and they've all had success. But guess what? Jonathan Taylor is a really, really, really good running back. So
extremely
64
good
and a half.
running back that is just hitting his stride. They fed him
Yeah.
the rock a ton last week. That was the rev up to this game, and this game
Yeah.
will be the continuation of what he will do for the remainder of the season. Mark my words right now, he is going over his rushing total.
Yeah. No, I love that pick as well. So I'm going to finish here with my last option. It's my receiver option. There's actually a couple I'm looking at here that I don't mind. We've already talked about Rashee Rice, Travis Kelce in that game. Stephon Diggs, I want to give a quick shout out to. I know I got to stop going back to him, but the Bills here are in a really, really good spot. So I just got to check the matchup. Oh, yeah, against Cincinnati. Cincinnati has been able to give it up a little bit to the receiver one options. Not all the time, but just a little bit. But Stephon Diggs has been playing elite. I'm looking at this bloody Cowboys-Eagles game. I cannot get off it at all for whatever reason. AJ Brown is playing lights out, but the problem with betting AJ Brown is the Dallas defense has been playing lights out. They've been shutting down
Stay away from it. Stay away from it.
All people everywhere.
You know everybody's going to bet on AJ Brown this week. Just don't, John, listen to me right now. If you're going to take anything on AJ Brown, it's the under this week.
Yes.
Don't take it. Just stay away from it.
Okay, I'm actually
listen
looking
to
at
me, John.
I'm actually looking at the Dallas side of the ball here. I'm looking at CeeDee Lamb. CeeDee Lamb and Dak Prescott have started to get cooking. They're getting a lot of they're on the same page, I would say. CeeDee Lamb is starting to sort of ascend into, and this is what sort of happens with CeeDee Lamb year after year, is he sort of gets off to a slow start. He sort of has spurts of like, oh, that was a good game. That was not such a good game. And then it's like from week 8 or whenever their bye is onward, he just ascends into one of the most elite players. Looking at the Philadelphia Eagles side of the defense, only Mike Evans and Chris Godwin struggled against them, but all other receiver one options on everyone's teams have all hit over their receiving and receptions lines. Now, some better than others. So like Puka Nacua had a good game against them. We remember back in LA. Tyreek Hill, who's destroyed everyone, so that's a bit unfair. Terry McLaurin, but Sam Howell did have 56 passing attempts, so that'll do that. Garrett Wilson had a good game against them. And Jefferson has had a good game against them. Kendrick Bourne had a good game against them. So CeeDee Lamb is one of those elite receivers who should have a very good game against them. I wouldn't even mind looking at Brandon Cooks' way. And that can only really mean one thing, and that's that we're also sort of looking at Dak Prescott maybe for passing yards. I don't like that just purely for the reason that it's a divisional game. These two teams are super, super, super competitive. But CeeDee Lamb, what is his line sitting at right now? Do you have it there?
Let me pull it up. But it's got to be insane because of the week that he had last week. Like, it has to be insane. But
if I was to make like 100 ticket,
yeah,
I think I'd put him in my 100 ticket. I would not put AJ Brown in it though.
He's at 75.5.
Yeah, see, 75.5. I'm comfortable with that.
Yeah, against the Eagles, I like that. I
know.
DeAndre Swift in that game is 15.5 too. By the way,
what is it?
DeAndre Swift is 15.5.
Yeah, no. See, I'm off Swift just because the Cowboys defense is very, very good.
Mm-hmm.
But 76.5, I think that's still a really good number. He was cold for a little bit, but the last 2 games he started to get red hot. I think that this Eagles defense is really, really good, but they're good in the red zone, but they still give it up a little bit. And CeeDee Lamb, I just think he's an elite receiver. So
you're going with
yeah.
Okay, you want to recap your picks? Go backwards.
So, like we said, I know we're not really like panning for gold here, but the stars are out for me this weekend. I am looking at Patrick Mahomes over 37.5 passing attempts. I am looking at who was my running back? Yeah, Rashad White over 27.5 receiving yards. I'm looking at CeeDee Lamb over 76.5 receiving yards as well against the Eagles.
Okay. I like it. I don't have any of those. Yeah. So if I go backwards, what did I just have? I just had Jonathan Taylor over 64.5 rushing yards. I had Breece Hall over 16.5 receiving yards.
Oh my God.
What? I have Alvin Kamara's longest reception over 15.5. I'll take Rashid Shaheed if he is under 20 on the longest reception. If there's no longest reception, if it doesn't come in for whatever reason and he's at 28.5 receiving yards, I will bump that down to 25 and I will take it. And if we go to the Germany game, it's Rashee Rice over his receptions, which is 3.5, and over his receiving total, which is 44.5.
Love that, man. I just want to quick fire a couple of other ones that I've got as good options as well. So it's Tua over 1.5 passing touchdowns. I think you can lock that in. Kareem Hunt against the Cardinals over his rushing yards.
Yep, I like.
We
that
didn't
too,
talk about it, but Kareem Hunt is starting to ascend as the Browns' number one running back, and the Cardinals they're really, really bad against running backs as well. I just wanted to quickly give out Ken Walker as well against the Ravens. That should be a good game. And even Zach Charbonnet in receiving. And then the receiving option, Stephon Diggs, I really like there. The other one was Tyreek Hill, of course. You could find some success with Nico Collins as well. And Devonta Adams.
With Aiden, like playing with Aiden? Yeah. Let's go.
Is Aiden O'Connor going to be playing?
Aiden starting.
Oh dear.
Aiden, you don't believe in it. I believe in it.
Yeah, no, I think it could be. So, sorry, that's against the Giants. And the Giants are absolute rubbish against wide receiver ones. And Devonta Adams is awesome. And he's angry. So, yeah, I think there's a couple of good options there as well. That's a great ticket, man.
Yeah, when you're Aiden O'Connell, I just want to put this out there. When you're Aiden O'Connell and you wake up in the morning after finding out that you're playing. So, like, today, he woke up and he was like, they're like, you're playing this week. He looks over at Devontae and he goes, I know the assignment. I know what I have to do. He honestly shovel the ball to your most talented player. If you want to have a good week and put good film out there, don't fuck around.
But that's why Will Levis was so good, and he is quite smart for that. You know what he did? He went, hey, I've got DeAndre Hopkins, who is actually not too bad. Just give it to him.
Just give it to the best guy on the field. Aiden O'Connell, if you are listening to this, give the ball to Devontae Adams. Give him the ball.
And guess what happened? Will Levis had like one of the best rookie debut performances of all time. It's not rocket science.
Give Adams the ball. Anyway, great ticket. John, send us off. Let's go. We got a big week here. This coming off now. It's coming off now.
Thanks for joining us.
Here we go. Sunday.
Let's go, buddy.